just 5. Okay. Well, and my name is Adrian Ford, and I'm your 4th speaker today.
Congratulations, mate. Final.
Well, congratulations on beating Humorous finals and not dramatic. All right. And all of the judges are ready? Great. And the timer? And this humongous audience? Okay, let's get started. Don't you understand? This is no good. I want something really sharp. What happens when you combine a colorful array of clients, a perilous vehicle, and an employer with a knife and a temper? Well, come with me to the small town of Darrowby, where I become the veterinary assistant of Siegfried Barnum. That's the guy with the knife. All Creatures, Great and Small. Written by the man who lived the life, James Herriot. Copyright 1971. A story about that cliched moral of true love. Nah, I'm just kidding. It's actually about being content no matter where you are. Siegfried always wore an old tweed jacket and shapeless flannel trousers. He looked as though he didn't spend much time in front of a mirror. James, I'd like to go and visit Mrs. Pumphrey. She says her dog is gone flop-bot again. Yes, Mrs. Pumphrey. Now, Mrs. Pumphrey was an elderly widow who lived on the outskirts of Darrowby with a vast fortune and a beautiful house. Here she lived with Tricky Woo, a Pekingese who was the apple of the mistress's eye. Oh, Tricky, here is your Uncle James. I had been made an uncle very early, and sensing the advantages of the relationship had made no objection. Oh, Mr. Harriet, I'm so glad you've come. Poor little Tricky, he went flop-bot again. This ailment, not to be found in any textbook, was Mrs. Pumphrey's way of describing the symptoms of Tricky's overeating. You know, Mrs. Pumphrey, you're overfeeding him again. Didn't I tell you to cut back on all of that cake and give him more chicken? Oh, yes. But what can I do? He's so tired of chicken. He feels that it is bland and he deserves better. But I did have such a frightening experience last week. Poor little Tricky, I was sure I'd have to call you out. He went completely cracker dog. I mentally lined this up with flop-bot among the new canine diseases and asked for more information. Oh, it was horrible. I was terrified. The gardener Hodgkin was throwing his rings in the garden for Tricky. Well, he was playing his little game. Then, all of a sudden, without warning, he went cracker dog. He forgot all about his little game and began to run around in little circles. And then, without warning, he fell over. Like a little dead thing. Did you know the worst part is that? I thought he was really dead! The gardener Hodgkin began to laugh. I've worked with that man for over 24 years. I've never even seen him smile. And as he stared at that little still figure, he broke into a high-pitched cackle. I was sure I'd have to call you out. Then, all of a sudden, Tricky got up. And something was wrong. Overexcitement and malnutrition. That was the symptoms of cracker dog. Look, Mrs. Pumphrey, that is exactly what I'm talking about. If you continue feeding Tricky all this fancy rubbish, you are going to ruin his health. Oh, I know. What am I supposed to do? I just can't refuse him when he begs for his little tidbits. All right, Mrs. Pumphrey. But I warn you, if you continue going down the road of cracker dog, he will go cracker dog more and more. Not cracker dog! Yes, cracker dog. It's up to you. James, I'd like you to come with me. We have 1 or 2 visits today. Farnan motioned me towards a battered Hillman. I shot a startled glance at the treadless tires the almost opaque bodywork, and the windshield with its network of fine cracks and its thick layer of dust. But what I didn't mention, or I didn't notice, was that the passenger seat was not fixed to the floor, but it stood freely on its sledge-like runners. And when I plopped myself down, I went over backwards. I didn't want my head on the back seat. What? You want me to show you? Fine. When I opened the door and I went and I sat myself down, I went over backwards and hit my head on the back seat. Farnan helped me up, apologizing with great charm, and we were off. Now, the thing about Farnan is, what's the word? He's a very unorthodox driver. He spends a lot of time admiring the countryside around him and not paying much attention to the road. See, the thing about Farnan is he drives really quickly, and he looks backwards. There's that last part that scared me. So as we were driving down, with Farnan's hand cupped into his chin, and then, all of a sudden, when he reached the bottom of the hill, he spurted out of his trance, the old Billman rock crazily going 70 miles an hour. My seat went side to side and back and forth. Where are you going? I'm going to Heaton's. Heaton's? I said Seaton's, and that's on the other side of town. No, I assure you, I was right with you when you were talking to the man, and I distinctly remember you saying Heaton's. I just decided to let him find out. No post mortem knife. I'll have to borrow one from the house. Dun, dun, dun. Good day, Mrs. Heaton. Have you a carving knife? What was that you said? A carving knife, Mrs. Heaton. A carving knife, and a good sharp one if you wouldn't mind. You want a carving knife? Yes, Mrs. Heaton, a carving knife. No one in my people like hurrying. I'm a very busy man. Mrs. Seaton, as Siegfried was soon about to find out, withdrew to the kitchen, and after some delay, one of her daughters came out, holding the long and dangerous-looking blade in front of her. This is no good! Don't you understand? I want something really sharp! Never mind. Where is your husband? There was no reply, so Siegfried thought it was a good idea to go into the house. And I had no option but to follow. And when I came to the house, I saw Siegfried looming over the Seatons, them cowering in the corner. Now I can get started. Started what? A post-mortem? You have a dead sheep, haven't you? Explanations and apologies followed. You have to be more careful in the future, James. Creates a very bad impression, that sort of thing. Ugh. The next time I went to Mrs. Pumphrey's house, I was really worried about Tricky. He'd become hugely fat like a bloated sausage with a leg in each corner. And then, when I went into the house, what I noticed was 2 large food bowls on the carpet. One contained about a pound of chopped chicken and the other a mass of crumbled cake. Mrs. Pumphrey! That was Tricky's only fault. Greed. He had never been known to refuse a meal in the day or the night. And I wondered about all the things that Mrs. Pumphrey hadn't mentioned. Tricky loved them all. Oh, I haven't been giving him much, really. Just a bowl of Horlicks before bed, some cake, some chicken, some malt, some cod liver oil. That's not that much. Look, Mrs. Pumphrey. If you don't get Tricky on a sensible dog diet, you are going to ruin his health. Oh, I know. Please do forgive me. All right, I'll forgive you. If you take out all of the cake and half of the chicken.